Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop and welcome to the May 2024 shop update, which I suppose you could call the April/May 2024 shop update because for one reason or another I actually forgot to do one in April. But for those of you who follow my channel and saw my last video, which was however many weeks ago, you will know that I had been quite ill, and it was apparently diagnosed as enteritis, which is, for those of you who don't know, that's inflammation of the small intestine. And I saw a total of 3 doctors, none of which were any good. Got stacks of medication and all sorts of things. And it actually took me about a month to recover. And even then I wasn't fully recovered. And now we're, I don't know, 2 to 3 months further on from the beginning of when I was ill. And I wouldn't still say now I'm 100%. But, I'm back in action, as it were. So yeah, I mean, being that ill for that long, it just really knocked me for 6. It really did. And we've obviously we were off during Songkran, which is the Thai New Year. Technically the first, well, not really the first 2 weeks of April, but it's from like the 6th to the 16th or something around that we were off. But during that whole time I was sick as a dog. And as I said, it took me about a month to recover, which was a lot longer than I was hoping. I mean, I don't. When I lived in the UK, I didn't really get ill that much. I suppose mostly because I was always working, just kept going. And if ever I did get ill, I'd just work through it. Just haven't got time to be ill. But I said this time it really did knock me for 6. I mean, I was literally out of action for at least a couple of those weeks, out of the month. And it just completely knocked me sideways. I've never been that ill before, and I hope I never am again. I mean, since living here in Thailand, I've been here for 8 years now. I've had food poisoning 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times maybe. It's just, let's say, a different level of hygiene here. So yeah, I've had food poisoning a few times, not severe, but bad enough to be a bit of a problem for a couple of days or so. So yeah, I mean, in the 8 years I've been in Thailand, I've been ill more times than I had for the rest of my entire life back in the UK. It's crazy, but it's difficult to acclimatise to things here. Not just the climate, but the food and everything. It's just. And I've been here for 8 years, and I'm used to it, but I wouldn't say I'm acclimatised. I mean, I still don't even get me anywhere near the sun. I'll pass out. Anyway, that aside, so yeah, I had been ill for quite a long time, a lot longer than I've ever been ill before in my life. That's literally, I mean, the most I've ever been ill before was about 2 weeks. And so, as I said, we were off for Songkran 10 or 12 days or so. But to be honest, since the beginning of this year, since January, our student levels have not really, increased that much. We've had a few more, but we've had quite a few that have dropped and a few that have not renewed. And although we're still quite busy with the general day-to-day teaching, it's been a bit difficult, I have to say, for the first, certainly the first quarter of this year anyway. Hopefully things will pick up, because it's not great at the moment. But as I said, still being busy, and not just with the teaching. So again, regular viewers of my channel will know that we currently rent 5 units within this mall. So we've got the big main one, which is our main. We don't call it a school, we call it a language centre. I'm not going to go into the reasons why. And then we've got kind of the extension on the back. There's a 4 more classrooms in there. The workshop that I'm in at the moment, the music shop, which is between this workshop and the main language centre, and the one opposite, which I turned into the new music rooms. Now, on that note, I'm going to take you outside and show you that, because there's been a development. So yeah, as I said, we rent 5 units, and you know, that works out a couple of bob. So yeah, I'm just walking past the main language centre school, call it what you like, but there it is, and there's the workshop behind me, and the shop itself is just there. So turning around to where the music rooms used to be, hopefully you can see that, it is now completely empty. Not just empty, but I've taken down the dividing wall in the middle, taken all the foam off all the walls, and the foam padding on the floors, and so you know, this entire wall, all the windows and the wall there was all covered in foam, that side as well, and all of that wall at that side, and I've taken it all off, but when I took it off, it damaged all the paint, so I had to repaint it. So I had to buy a pot of paint, and I've repainted the entire inside of the whole shop twice, 2 coats. But as you can see, as I said, it's now completely empty, and it took me about 3 weeks to completely redo that shop as to how it was, actually better than it was before we took it on. So the idea was, incidentally, I've moved. So one of the classrooms in our extension bit out the back here, we said we've got 4 classrooms there. I turned one of those into the music room, so we've got 1 music room and 3 other classrooms in there. And our initial reasoning was, you know, renting 5 units, and we didn't really use this often. We used one side, but the other side hardly ever. So we've thought, we're kind of wasting money, you know, renting this extra unit for, you know, just a few hours a week, basically. So our initial thought was to give this shop up, you know, return it back to its original condition, hand the keys back over to the management here, and get our deposit back. But this is the cheapest of all of our units that we rent. And it's a reasonably decent size. So we had second thoughts about it, almost when I was nearly finished refurbishing it. So if I bring you back round to the front, you can't really see so much here because of the reflection. But yeah, as I said, it is all completely empty and repainted. But we've decided we're going to keep it on. And this, I'm not sure how well you're going to see that, but it says the board game RoJoBe. Excellent gaming experience guaranteed. So we're going to use it, temporarily at least, as a board game and toy shop. Yeah, another new business venture. So, I mean, our contract runs out on this in a couple of months, but we're going to try it. Try as a toy and game shop for now. See how it goes. Anyway, I've got to go back into the workshop because my battery's about to die. So, just thought I'd give you an update on that side of things at least. So, just bear with me a minute while I plug the charger back in. Hopefully things don't die. Okay. Right, which one can I unplug? Let's take that one out. Okay. So, I'm also going to plug in my desk microphone, so it'll go quiet for a minute, bear with me. Okay, so now we're on desk mic and back in the workshop. Hopefully it didn't go off. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so that's development as far as one of our units is concerned. So as I said, it was our 2 music rooms. It wasn't really paying for itself that well. I mean, we were using it. Whether we were using it enough to actually cover what the rent was, I don't think so. So as I said, I've converted one of the other classrooms into the music room. So we've got only 1 music room now, but the way our lesson scheduling is at the moment, we only need 1. And if we ever do need to, we can just use one of the other classrooms temporarily. I don't need to set it up as a music room. It would only be temporary. And yeah, so originally we were going to hand that other unit back and get our deposit back, but now we've decided we're going to give it a go at least until our contract expires, which is in about 2 months. I think it's end of July. I think it runs out. And you know, if it pays, if it works, then we'll keep it on. If not, we'll hand it back. No big deal. But yeah, we're going to attempt a toy and board game shop. I mean, you know, the main thing we will be stocking in that shop is basically educational games. So there'll be a lot of board games, you know, spelling games and all sorts of things. We've tried to, you know, for obvious reasons, we will try to sort of engineer it towards educational games because we're an education centre. Kind of makes sense. So yeah, we'll give it a go, and we'll keep you updated as to, you know, how that turns out. I'm not overly optimistic, I have to be honest, but we'll see. You never know. Anyway, you know, it's not going to hurt us to try. It's not really costing us any extra money apart from the stock. And you know, if it doesn't work out, we'll just give the unit back and get our deposit money back. No big deal. Anyway, so as far as the actual workshop is concerned, a few gadgets and gizmos that I've acquired over the past couple of months. Not much, because there wasn't much of a budget at the moment, and I still haven't got the air condition in here. Still using a fan and an open door. Such is life. That'll have to wait because it's fairly expensive, really. I mean, for the unit that I need, it's going to be about 17 to 18,000 Thai baht, which is 400 quid or so, a little over. So, you know, reasonably expensive, about $500. But, you know, I need it, obviously. It's just frustrating that I've been in here for however many months now and still haven't got it, but I make do. Okay, so gadgets and gizmos. Where shall I start? I'll start with an easy, quick one. So I bought this digital mouse, wireless mouse, to go with my tablet for when I'm using the laser engraving software, or app, I should say. I've already got, I had mentioned before in a previous shop update about the wireless keyboard, and I thought after I got it I should have got a mouse as well, but I managed to find this one on Lazada, which is, you know, shopping for a shopping platform online, and it was ridiculously cheap. I can't remember, 60 baht, about £1.50. I'm not kidding you. And I haven't even tried it yet, and I can't try it now because the battery in my tablet is almost dead. I've got to recharge it, but I'm currently recharging my phone and they share the same charger. So I'll try it another time. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's got the little USB Dewberry Firkin inside. Now obviously my tablet doesn't have this style USB socket, but I've got my adapter, which again my regular viewers would have seen in a previous shop update. So I'm sure it'll work absolutely fine. Don't know if this takes. Oh no, it's got a rechargeable battery inside, so I just need to charge it and then connect it via that USB. So yeah, I'm sure it'll work. It'll be fine. But as I said, when I'm using my laser engraving software on my tablet, it's much more useful to have the keyboard and mouse as well. So you know, when I get round to it, I'll get that set up, and I might do another little short video on that as well to see, you know, show how how they work with each other, if they do. So that's one thing. Now, let me think. I'm going to show you this one. I would have preferred to leave this till last, but I might as well show you now. So I've got this little black carry case. What's inside? Good question. It is drone, cheapy one. So there's the controller there, and there's the drone itself. I'll just take it out and fold the wings out, show you what it's like. I know what you're all screaming. Permit, insurance, license, blah blah blah. Okay, so there it is, just a tiny little thing. It's a really cheap one. It's apparently got 3 cameras, but I think it's only 1. I think the other 2 are dummies. It does look to me as though the top 2 are dummies and the bottom one is a actual camera, and I know that works because I've tried it. So at the moment I'm only, you know, I've never had one before, so I'm learning to fly it, and it's any of you who've had anything to do with these, it is tricky at first, and also I need to calibrate the controller. It's not properly calibrated at the moment, so I need to sort that out. But you know, it's not for anything particular. It's not going to be for commercial use, just a bit of fun. Once I've got used to actually flying the thing properly, then I'll start looking at the camera. Yeah, just a bit of fun really, just a toy really. Okay, so next thing, how are we doing for time? Get a bit of crack ski on the ski. Pretty sure I did show you this in the previous shop update. My new spray gun kit. Sure I showed it. Yeah. Anyway, so, oh dear. So we've got two spray guns in here, 2 different sizes. Okay, so we've got a large and I'm going to call that a medium because I've got smaller ones. You know, I mean, again, these are quite cheap, but to me, I mean, I'm no expert, but I think they're pretty well put together. And they look nice in that, the camera doesn't do it justice, but really nice blue. And so we've got the two size guns and 2 different size reservoirs, bottles, whatever you want to call them, I don't know. Got all the bits and pieces with it, you know, cleaning kit, there's a regulator, but there's a regulator on my compressor. Now, the problem I had, I'm not going to get it now, the compressor which I bought with this kit from the same company, the same supplier, the air hose was a 1/4 inch fitting, and these guns are 1/2 inch fitting, and there was no adapter with it. As I said, bought them from the same company. So I bought, they're actually on here now, I bought these adapters. It was a bit of a gamble because I wasn't sure if they'd be the right, I knew they were the right size, but I didn't know if they were the right thread. Turns out they were. They're brass ones, and you can probably see that I had to put PTFE tape on them because, you know, I put them on, tightened them up as much as I dare, being brass fittings, connected it to the compressor, and I found that they were leaking. So that was fine. I knew that would probably be the case. So I took them back off, put the PTFE tape on, and then cranked them back down. Again, as tight as I dared, being brass fittings, and you know, plugged it into the compressor again, still leaking a bit, so I had to keep cranking them down, and eventually got them to seal up. Now, the case that this comes in, it didn't fit with these little brass fittings on, so you can't see it, you can't see that one, but I cut, can you see that, where are we? No, you can't really see it, but I cut a little notch out of the carry case so that they'll fit in there with those brass adapters on there. So yeah, I had to modify the carry case to get them to fit in. You can't see it, but I had to cut little notches in the plastic case to get those to fit in. Anyway, time's cracking on, so there's just one more thing. This arrived just the other day actually. and this is one I've been wanting for quite a long time actually, and I finally got one. So I'm going to need to angle the camera for this. Let's just go down and that way. Oh, camera's on a funny angle now. What's happened there? Okay, so it's this electronic ultrasonic cleaner. Now, I'm sure many of you know what this is. So it is quite a small, compact one, and we've got the basket inside. I've already got the cleaning solution in there. So what it is, this is something that it can be used for jewellery, or small bits and pieces. People use them for carburetors and car things. Ultrasonic cleaner. So it cleans with a cleaning solution using heat and ultrasonic waves, vibration basically. And I bought the proper ultrasonic cleaner solution to go with it. That's a little litre bottle, and you mix that 40-to-1 with water. Now I used distilled water to make this mix up. I probably didn't need to, but I had it here and I thought, well, I might as well. So let's pull up there, and you mix it 40-to-1. So I put, now this was supposed to be a 2-litre capacity. When I saw it, I thought that's small for 2 litre. So I actually measured it. I've got a 1 litre measuring jug. So I filled that up and put it in here, filled it up again, and kept going in this until it was full, and I realised that is not 2 litre, it's 1.5 litre, so they've stitched me up a bit, but it will do the job. And I also, unfortunately, had to modify the basket a bit, because it fitted in there nicely, but when it was in there, the lid wouldn't go on properly. It wouldn't sit properly like that. It was kind of, it pushed up. So I had to modify the basket to make that fit. Now, I also gave it a trial. So you can adjust the temperature from, I think it's 30 degrees. It should be up to 60 degrees, but it actually goes up to 80 Celsius or centigrade. And you've got the timer from 1 to 30 minutes. So I've got dozens and dozens of these old guitar tuners lying about, which I just keep around for spare bits and pieces. And the camera's not really going to pick that up too well, but let's try and get the light on it a bit. So you can see they're quite dirty and manky. As I said, the camera's not really picking up too well. So I've got dozens of these. So I put a few of them in the cleaner, in this ultrasonic cleaner, and they came out quite good. Now again, the camera's really not going to do it justice. You can probably see some dark patches on there. Well, that's corrosion. They're chrome, and chrome corrodes, over time. And it didn't do anything with that. It wouldn't. It's a cleaner. It's not for removing corrosion. But it did a pretty good job. It cleaned all these up nicely. It's a cleaner, as I said, not an anti-corrosion thingamy. So it works quite well. I'm quite happy with it. Although it's a smaller capacity than it was advertised. Advertised at 2 litre, and it's only 1.5. Anyway, so that's that, and I will be using that quite frequently, I should think. So that's pretty much it for now. A few bits and pieces. Now, on to my next project, which I have mentioned before. I'm going to start on these cookie tin ukuleles. So I'm going to do this one, a little rectangle one, and this one, which is a bit bigger and it's square. So that will be my next project, coming soon. I'd like to apologise for it being so long since uploading my last video, but as I said, with illness and other things going on, doing that shop has taken me about 3 weeks, off and on, not sort of full time, because between teaching and everything else. So, as I said, my next project is going to be cracking on with these cookie tin ukuleles. Quite looking forward to that. Hope you are too. So that will be coming soon. And that's it for the May shop update. Sorry there wasn't an April one, but we'll call it an April-May shop date, this one. April-May shop update. So, in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other, and we will see you soon. Peace out.